You too, yes. I'm good. I'm extra good today because we're literally talking about and we're going to eat probably tied with like a number one or a close second to my absolute favorite food ever, which is pizza.
Right? Oh my God. Can I just say how much I also love pizza? Like, love pizza.
Me too. It's, I think, one of those foods that so many of us can relate to as a true comfort food, because I think it has a lot of the components that we crave emotionally. And to be honest, it has a lot of the components that a body craves when we're not necessarily at our top health. So it becomes the perfect pairing. And I think as a nutritionist, there's a connotation that when we start to tweak and change our health, that we have to be like, bye to the pizza, because there's so many components, that aren't great for us. But that's a lie, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And, and in my experience, like pizza is probably one of my most emotional foods. And, I was thinking about it, getting ready to chat today about it and how, like, I always felt a little bit shameful about my love of pizza, being a naturopathic doctor, like we're supposed to be all like healthy and, perfect. And it's
Totally.
like, and so I would remember, I was reflecting on it, and I would remember times where, it would be a long week, right? And Friday night, and I'm just like, oh, I can't even bring myself to make something. I'm going to order pizza.
Yeah.
And I would do that. And, what was hard is it's so good in the moment. You're eating that pizza and, and it's doughy, but then you feel crappy afterwards. That's always been the thing. And so I actually have to be honest. I had a little bit of shame around it because I would eat it and then I'd be like, oh, I don't feel so good, but I wouldn't want to tell anybody. So for me, making pizza for me is such a joy. It's such an act of self-love.
I love that. I feel that, girl. Also, as a fellow healthcare practitioner, me too, man. Call freaking Domino's on Friday.
Right?
Domino's. Mine was like Domino's. Oh my God. The Brooklyn pizza with the pepperonis like as big as like my head and so thin and whatever. And I could eat that whole entire pizza. It was like 2 minutes from my house. So me too, as I was transitioning in my own health journey and then becoming, holistic nutritionist, I had that shame as well. But I also had that drive in me that like, I have to lead by example, but I can't give up pizza. So what am I supposed to do? And that's kind of what birthed me and my brand. I don't want to give up the things that I love. So what could I do about it? We recreate it. So, I mean, can you tell me about your pizza? Because I loved how you said like you're creating something with love for you. So tell me what you created for yourself.
So, my pizza is, it's a spelt dough pizza. So it still has gluten. It's got, grass-fed mozzarella. So it still has cheese. So what I try to do with my pizza is I got to be honest with myself about, what I want in a pizza so that I don't go and call Domino's.
Right.
So I know I still want that doughy feel. And what I used to do in the past actually would be, I would buy spelt dough already pre-made at Goodness Me. And in Cambridge, they had that. But here in Barrie, I can't find a spelt dough, pre-made to save my life. So,
but it's a trade-off because you're close to the beach, right?
True that. Wasaga is beautiful, and that is a trade-off. And it's got me to make my own spelt dough. So I have to be honest, this is the first time I've made my own spelt dough. And last night, got to be honest, we threw away, one because I undercooked it. So today we're good. I need to do a little practice, but I feel like I've got it down. I can totally do this again. And spelt dough, why I pick spelt for me is, I'm sensitive to gluten, but not near sensitive to spelt, the ancient grain compared to the gluten. So I've got a spelt dough. When I make pizzas for myself, I don't put meat on it. My husband, the man, loves a meat lover's pizza. Like, I swear to God, meat lover's pizza from Pizza Hut is what he likes. And I just love having control of, this is my pizza. I don't want any meat on it because it doesn't feel good. And I get lots of olives. There's peppers, little peppers, mushrooms. I put some garlic on there, some onions.
Bring it close. Let me see.
Right? Look at this sucker. Right? Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And I love olive on my pizza so much.
Me too. It's like my favorite thing. And I feel like people are either like, sorry, we need to talk about this for a second.
Yes.
Olives, there's like no gray area. People are either like me and you, where I'm like, give me all the olives now. Or people are like, those are disgusting. Let me drop it out of my mouth. Like Wes, my husband won't even pick it off pizza because he says it taints the whole pizza. So I'm with you with the olives. That pizza looks bomb.
Right. And I just love that I can make it my way and with good quality ingredients that I feel good after eating it.
Yeah. I love that. Take a slice and take a bite.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm dying to have a bite. Just like, it smells so good too.
It looks amazing. So it's super amazing that in this case, you used to use something store-bought, which I'm sure was still a great alternative. And now that you have been somewhat, let's say, forced to do otherwise, that you find yourself making the product. So it's like me and you are reversed for the pizzas. So check this out. I feel also too, there's a connotation that as a holistic nutritionist, I make everything from scratch. I'm just this domestic goddess in the kitchen all the time. No, let's be real. Yas, I make tons from scratch. I make like probably 95% of my stuff from scratch, right?
Yeah.
But not all the time and not everything. So I went from probably having guilt. I love that you brought that up, in terms of pizza. Guilt for me in terms of not making everything from scratch, because a nutritionist should, to fast forward a decade where I'm like, girl, I don't got time for that. I got things to do, people to see, life to live. So I've started to integrate more ready-made stuff. Very picky. And you guys know on my community, I talk about that. Yes, I am picky with my products. I will tear a product apart. Yeah. But I've started to integrate it. So where I used to make cauliflower crust.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've not ventured into that. I have to say it looks hard.
I used to make it probably almost crying on the Friday. I'm like, don't call Domino's. Let's make a cauliflower crust. Let's grate cauliflowers until you catch your skin. And then you open it and you're like, let me pick the skin out of my cauliflower grating, because I didn't have a food processor back then. So then you're like, let me put all the ingredients together, follow the recipe by T, and then you still take it out and you pick it up and it just like pours like lava. And I'm like,
right. And then I know I would want to call Domino's.
I did. Like, so I have done a lot of transitioning with pizza crust. So I'm more partial to using store-bought pizza crust because that's just something that is easier for me. And I'd like to bring a little bit about labels here. You know how I feel about labels. I hate labels. I hate labels for anything. I hate anything extreme labels, sexuality, you know what I mean? Political, whatever. I am all about fluidity, having that ability to flow and evolve and whatever. So I don't think that we need to have labels in terms of what we eat. And I've said that before. So I say that because this is the crust that I use today for my pizza. And I use a couple different ones depending on where I find them and whatever. So I don't know if you've heard of this. Have you heard of the Cauliflower?
Yeah, I've seen that at Goodness Me, usually in the freezer section, right?
Correct. So you get 2 crusts frozen. So here's why I'm bringing up the food labeling. I'm not sad about these ingredients, all right? And I will list their website below in the notes, and you guys can go on and check it out because they have other products. I personally only use this. They're not vegan.
Oh.
And I always get an uproar like, but you're vegan. But I'm not. I am primarily vegan. I don't even use that label. I say I'm primarily plant-based. You know me. I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat products like gravies. I don't do collagen. So like, that's a hard no for me, but eggs are going to slip in. You know what I mean? Cheese is going to slip in. It's not what I use often, but a girl needs a poutine every now and then with vegetarian gravy for me and curds. So don't label me. And friends out there, don't label yourselves. So I am a primarily plant-based eater, and my ready-made crust, which I like, has egg in it.
Cool.
Mad respect for the people who are devout in their veganism and, won't take the eggs, the honey, anything like that. I'm totally down. I'm a fluid, live and let live. But like me, I don't label myself. So we do have eggs in here. It's a beautiful crust. Because crusts can be tricky. I feel like you have a lot to say about crust. So before I go into like my pizza, do you have something to say about crust? I feel like we had crust talk before.
Yeah, like crust. I was telling my husband last night as we were, practicing some of the spelt dough that like crust is an art. Like mad respect to people working in pizza dough shops, for like the real stuff.
Yes.
Because it's an art. And it's not just something you just throw in the oven and you walk away. Like you gotta like watch it. You gotta, when you're layering on, I found last night we were putting on too many toppings onto this.
Okay.
So we had to, I had to put less. I mean, honestly, it is amazing. Like this turned out so good. But I needed less. So the crust is like, it's a delicate thing. And I'm dying to know like how you make this pre-made crust work. Cause like, look at your pizza, it's gorgeous.
Thank you. And you are right. I tried a lot of crusts, and crusts not only being a delicate thing, I'm not great at making them. I'm the first one to say it. Obviously I had like lava crust, as I said, but crusts are dirty. You guys can Google it. We're not going to spend time, like you guys can Google what's in the crust at your favorite pizza joint.
Yes,
I don't think you're going to be able to like pronounce a lot of the things. Everything will be modified. And where you guys are using an ancient grain that does contain gluten, that ancient grain has not been modified 12,000 times.
Can I interrupt for a moment? Like I use sprouted spelt flour because I knew like, right, that gets some points. And it's it's the flour, there is yeast, and salt and water.
Beautiful.
That's it.
And look at your crust. So this is where I'm always, so feeling so strongly about health washing, and everything that I talk about that's very passionate to me. If we can make crust using those ingredients you just listed, then why the are we making crusts with all of the other chemicals? Why are we doing this to people? Why are we doing this to our health?
Agreed. Big time.
Agreed. Okay, so you want to know what the rest on my pizza?
Yes, please.
My pizza. Clearly, I went with the Big Mac pizza. I'm so scared that it's going to slide off the board, so this is as close as you get to see it. But here, we'll pop up a little picture of the Pride and Joy so you can see it up close in all of its beauty. So why the Big Mac pizza? I'm not sure if I'm going to get in trouble for saying Big Mac. Why the Mac pizza? Combination of two crazy comfort foods. And I was just talking to your husband the other day. He worked at McDonald's. I found that out. And so did I. And we were talking about the fact that back in the day, we won't age us. You got free meals every single shift and you got to make them the way you wanted. So like I would make these crazy concoction burgers and the sauce used to be in a gun. Probably still is. It was in a gun and you'd pull the trigger. And I put like, I swear to God, 23 like smacks of sauce. There was sauce everywhere.
Oh, yum.
Yum and like cringe at the same time now that I know what's in there, but that's okay. So I took one of my favorite burgers and my favorite foods and I made them besties. And I chose to do this one today because like, I'm not going to lie. This is one of my mac sauce. And like this pizza was one of the most requested recipes ever on my community. So like, why not make this, right?
Yeah, I got to try your mac sauce. To be honest, I haven't, and I got to try it.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it on burgers. Should we do burgers next week? Should we have burgers
next week? Oh my God, I love burgers. Okay.
Well, you make the mac sauce. You got to make the mac sauce.
Yeah, I'm going to make the mac sauce.
Okay. Too much good food, too little time. So Big Mac pizza, super simple. All right. For sauce, I literally just do a thin layer of avocado oil. I brush it on there, and I do some diced onions, because onions on the Big Mac, you know what I mean? And a little bit of garlic granules, actually organic garlic like powder.
Nice.
Just to give it that taste. And then I put on, this is where you can have variety, which is so good. I use the my nut and seed meat, and I talked about that when we had tacos the other night. So I put the nut and seed meat on there. But remember, guys, you can choose something that's fast and easy if you need to by using like a great product, like a meat crumble, you know, like the Blue Mountain line is great. Big Mountain line is great, etc. So, and truth be told, you know, I'm transparent. Sometimes when I'm feeling extra junky, I use a crumbled Beyond Meat patty. Like that's like a few and far in between. So crumbled meat of some sort on there, because you got to get your beef on your Big Mac, right? Your beef. Pickles. I cut them like pepperoni. Like you literally, I take like my fermented pickles, like the dill ones, and I literally cut them into the Big Mac pickle shape. So it's still a live fermented pickle on there. So you get the benefits of that.
That is brilliant. I just want to say pickles on pizza. I never thought of that.
So good, yes. Pickles over pepperoni, because you know pepperoni, RIP in my diet. You're a carcinogen and you cause cancer, and I've replaced you with pickles. Sorry, not sorry, but you know. So yeah, we got the pickles on there. Then I put on, is there any other cheese for me? Green Goddess, mozzarella, grates like a dream. And I make it just like that. When it comes out, you better believe I douse it with mac sauce and lettuce. Not iceberg lettuce. I didn't go all out Big Mac. I use romaine hearts because at least I get more nutrition that way, essentially.
Okay, so hold. So you put, so it comes out of the oven and then you're putting it on.
Yeah, and then I put on the sauce, and then I put on the lettuce so it doesn't wilt. So you know what I mean? It stays intact.
Brilliant.
You can see the crispness of this crust. I mean, it's been sitting a while. I like a thin crust because I like, for me personally, the toppings to do more of that flavor. And I get that with this. Nice. So pointing out, guys, you know, also labeling in terms of making everything from scratch. You can see you have a big combination, and also labeling in terms of never having anything that isn't exceptionally loaded with nutrition, because there's not as much nutrition in this meal as I would usually have in another meal. You know what I mean? There's not a shit ton of veggies, and but there's not chemicals. Things are organic. I'm making my sauce from scratch, my Big Mac sauce, dude. You're going to love it. So it's that moderation. There's no perfection, in my opinion, in health, in the journey, in being a healthcare practitioner, whether you're a naturopathic doctor like yourself, a nutritionist like myself. We are humans, and we're making, I think, really crappy food. Sorry, Big Mac and like Domino's, into pretty freaking health sustaining food, right?
100%. Honestly, since I started making my own pizza, I don't call Domino's like ever, because this is just so good. And yeah, so amazing.
So
How's it taste?
Amazing. Like the mac sauce, will be, careful. It's everything for me. And you can, like, again, using that on burgers. Sometimes I'll make a beautiful veggie pizza like yours, and I'll just use it as a dip, just to, you know what I mean? Because like, were you a dipper like me?
Totally.
Did you get like
garlic?
Creamy garlic, me too. And I'd get like 2, and I would literally slather it in it.
Yep.
I'm going to invite
everybody.
Have you looked, Jazz? I'm going to invite you actually, and we'll talk about it next time we chat. Google the ingredients of your creamy garlic sauce.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Do it. It's so crazy.
Scared. It's probably so bad. There's probably not one good thing in it.
It's crazy. So, I mean, again, I love that we are able to completely have our comfort food meal. Let's try that again. I love it how we can completely have our comfort food meals, have them completely different ways, because, I mean, ours are completely different pizzas.
Totally different,
both beautiful and both so insanely above takeout that it's actually ridiculous. And I'm going to wager to say, I'm sure as well, your veggies that you're using as well are organic and they're not commercially farmed and full of glyphosate and genetically modified.
Nope, it's organic all the way.
And we know that makes a difference, right? Every little bit matters when we talk about our hormones, when we talk about cellular toxicity. So like, we're cleaning up our foods, girl, and we're still eating and enjoying them.
Yeah, comfort foods.
All the way. So burgers next week?
I love it. Burgers, I'm in. And that mac sauce.
And that mac sauce. So yeah, let's plan for burgers next week. Same time, same place, me and you, and let's get our burger on.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Me too. All right. Well, I'm going to devour this pizza now. You do the same. And I'll see you next week, girl.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.